everyone, in today's video we're going to be having a look at ECCE Part 2 and we're on the speaking exam again. So if you like these videos, please remember to share them with your friends and subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be a lot of ECCE videos coming out in the next couple of weeks. And next we're going to be having a look at the listening. So we've just done ECCE Part 1. So in Part 1 the examiner is asking you personal questions, alright? In Part 2 it gets a little bit different, alright? Because in this part of the test the examiner actually does more speaking than you do, which is a little bit strange for a speaking test. So what's going to happen is this: the examiner is going to give you a situation. Usually it's something like, I am your friend, I have a problem, and you've got to find out what the problem is. Okay, so he'll give you a prompt. On this prompt there'll be some questions and there'll be some pictures. So for example, he will show you, you'll see these questions and you'll see these pictures. Alright, so from the pictures you can see there's a watch and there's a camera, yeah? And then here are your questions. You've got to find out what is the problem, what are the options, and what are the advantages of each option. So it starts off and you'll say, what is the problem? And the examiner will say, the problem is my best friend is having a birthday party and I don't know what present to buy him. And then you'll say, oh, what are the options? And the examiner will say, well, the first option is I buy him a watch, and also I've thought about buying him perhaps a new camera to record all his skateboarding stunts. And you will ask, well, okay, what are the advantages of each of these options? And the examiner will say to you, well, the advantage of the watch is the fact that I know that he wants the watch, because every time we're strolling around town he shows me the watch, and it is a really nice watch, and to be honest my friend doesn't have one, so I know it's going to be a very useful present for him. Whereas with the camera, as I kind of said earlier, I know again that he really wants this camera. My friend makes a lot of YouTube videos, he does a lot of skateboarding, and this is the latest kind of camera with HD definition, so it'll be really good for his videos, and I know he'll love it. So what do you think I should do? Alright, and that is pretty much part 2 of the exam. So tips for this part of the exam, let's have a look at them, shall we? First of all, when you have a little look at the your prompt, you'll see the two pictures. So you don't have a lot of time, maybe 10-15 seconds, but you can start thinking about what the examiner is going to say to prepare you. Alright? Another thing that a lot of students kind of struggle with is the fact that they're often told to change the questions, which can sound a little bit funny. For example, you can't really change what are the options. You know, if you change that, it just sounds a little bit strange. And I actually attended a teaching seminar on the ECCE recently, and the guy from the Michigan examination board said that you do not have to change the questions. You can if you want, but it's not necessary. So I mean, I think you really have enough to worry about in this part of the exam. If you can change, you know, maybe you're asked about the advantages and the disadvantages, and you could maybe change this to what are the positive and negative aspects of each option. Well, that's fairly easy to do. But some of the other things, like what is the problem, it's very hard to rephrase this question. And again, you can if you want, but it's not essential. And I think the main tip here is the examiner is speaking more than you for a reason. You are meant to be listening very carefully, and we're going to be getting onto this in a few moments, because I'm going to go on to part 3, and in part 3 basically you are giving the examiner advice based on what he's just said to you. So we'll leave it there for this video. I hope it's been useful. If there are any queries or questions, send us some comments, please. Bye for now.